Rajasthan is voting 199 seats up for grabs. 1,900 plus candidates are testing their phrase as well. And the visuals on your screen is of the man in the hot seat, Ashok Gehlot, the incumbent chief minister who's trying to change the tradition of Badlao. Rajasthan voters are known to usher out the incumbent every 5 years and bring in a new government. Ashok Gehlot is trying to change all of that. He's just come back to the Jodhpur polling booth. He's a MLA from Sardarpura. That's where he's seeking the blessings of the voters once again. Just walking inside, he's gone to the ancestral village, sought divine intervention also, and now he's getting ready to cast his vote amidst slogans favoring him. The Bharatiya Janata Party is underlining the corruption allegations against Ashok Gehlot. It is underlining women's safety and most importantly underlining the infighting between Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot. Aman Sharma is in Jodhpur. In fact, Aman, he's finally reached to cast his vote. What's the mood at that polling booth?
Yes, Arunima, in fact, he's just arrived here outside. He's gone to his ancestral house, which is just nearby in this lane outside this polling booth. This is the house where Mr. Ashok Gehlot was born. He's gone to put a garland on the pictures of his deceased parents, and he'll be here in a moment, Mr. Ashok Gehlot, to vote in Sardarpura. This is his polling booth. And the mood in Jodhpur or the mood in Rajasthan, I think this election for the Congress has totally been about Mr. Ashok Gehlot. You go around Rajasthan, you go around in Jodhpur, everywhere you go, you just see his picture, his 7 guarantees, his promises, his schemes. It is all about him. And Mr. Ashok Gehlot at 72 years of age is surely, neither does he look tired nor retired. If the Congress wins in Rajasthan, I am sure Mr. Ashok Gehlot is pitching for a 4th term as the chief minister. Also, I remember when I interviewed him earlier, he told me that जब वोट मेरी स्कीम्स और मेरी गारंटीज पर पड़ेगा तो मैं अपने आप को उस जगह को खाली क्यों करूं. So he is very clear that if the Congress wins in Rajasthan, it will be due to his schemes, it will be due to his guarantees, especially the guarantee he's offering to women voters about this 10,000 rupee yearly allowance to women voters, then the gas cylinder at rupees 500, the old pension scheme promise, the very, very popular, I must say, the Chiranjeevi medical insurance scheme, which is of 25 lakh cover, and he's promised to enhance it to 50 lakhs if he comes to power again. So I think the man in the hot seat, Ashok Gehlot, the man who's pitched his election fortunes on this election, fought it totally in his name. We didn't see much of Mr. Sachin Pilot on either the posters or in any joint campaign. Mr. Ashok Gehlot is pitching this election that vote for my good governance, and that is what he also told me in an interview yesterday, saying that the vote will be for good governance, not for the BJP's agenda of what he says bhadkao rajniti.
Aman, would you say Mr. Gehlot has also forced the Bharatiya Janata Party to play on his pitch before he announced these guarantees? The mood in the country seemed to be anti-freebies. The Prime Minister had spoken about it. There is pressure on the economy, a lot of critics said. But now I think everybody is talking about welfare politics. And his schemes, like you're pointing out, his 7 guarantees have also set the narrative in a way.
Absolutely, Arunima. It has happened. We saw the BJP's manifesto come out in Rajasthan where they said they will give a gas cylinder at rupees 450. This is after 500 rupee, the gas cylinder was given at rupees 500 by Mr. Ashok Gehlot for almost a year. This made Ashok Gehlot respond that he will give a gas cylinder at rupees 400 if his government comes to power. So I think people are happy that both these sides are competing in this kind of freebie politics. Promising, especially the BJP has not promised a monthly allowance for women in Rajasthan, but it has done so in the Ladli Behna Yojana in Madhya Pradesh. It has even promised one in Chhattisgarh if it comes to power. So interesting politics on both sides, and I think the BJP also realizing that the freebie politics which it criticizes, at the end of the day, you have to give something to the people, otherwise you stand to lose in the state elections. I think this is a lesson that the BJP has also learned from the Karnataka election loss and the Himachal Pradesh election loss, Arunima.
So while we are waiting for Ashok Gehlot to come out from his ancestral property and come and cast his vote, Aman, let's talk about his own candidature. When I was also going around in Jodhpur, there were complaints that not enough development has happened in the city, that more should be done in terms of infrastructure. There were some youngsters complaining about paper leak also. Yet do you sense a mood that being the constituency of the chief minister will be the uppermost thing in the minds of the voters?
Absolutely. We spoke to a few people, Arunima, and that is what they said, that this is the Chief Minister's constituency and they will vote for him. Obviously, the BJP has run a very strong campaign here. I saw Yogi Adityanath also come and campaign here for the BJP candidate, Mahendra Rathod, who's a greenhorn, who's fighting his first election. He's a professor and he's fought a spirited campaign. But, the feeling also is that Jodhpur, because in the last 2019 Lok Sabha elections, Ashok Gehlot's son, Mr. Vaibhav Gehlot could not win the election despite Ashok Gehlot being in
Aman, just give me a moment. Give me a moment. Ashok Gehlot is speaking. Let's dip in and then come back to you.
वोटरों से मतदान के पॉलिटिकल देखिए वोट की बात करेंगे बाद में अशोक गहलोत की कारण चलो ना आप आगे तक बढ़ो मुझे जानना हो गया
So the media tried to put the microphone to him, but I think what Ashok Gehlot is indicating that he would first go cast his vote, and once he comes out of the polling booth, only then he will speak to the media. Aman is at that polling booth. Aman, he's walking towards your side, it seems. I'll give you a moment while I want to bring in Pallavi Ghosh into the conversation. Pallavi, Ashok Gehlot is the man in the hot seat. Whatever the Bharatiya Janata Party might say about the fight between him and Sachin Pilot, looks like he is fighting this as his own elections, trying to ensure that if Congress wins, he's back in the hot seat. From what you see right now on your screen, would you want to interpret the body language?
Well, absolutely. But he's always been a very, very strong organization person, someone who oozes that confidence. And look at the way the entire so-called rebellion and those days which were worked out, Arunima, he said a pretty strong words for Sachin Pilot. But the Congress top leadership did not even have the courage to replace him. No one even could reprimand him, though there were requests which were sent out that don't make public comments against each other. But he would relentlessly go on because his confidence comes from the fact that he's considered to be an excellent organization person. Many would not remember, but last Gujarat elections, he was in charge of the state. And that was a time when the Congress party had put up with some very good performance over there. And, he was our general secretary very much in the organization, someone who's very close to Rahul Gandhi. So I remember him that as a person who has that sense of confidence which comes in from a person who has many years of experience. And should the Congress party come back to power, a lot of credit, of course, will be given to Ashok Gehlot because one, he is breaking the cyclical pattern, and the second, of course, is the fact that a lot of credit will, of course, be given to Ashok Gehlot for able to beat that cyclical pattern and come back to power once again. And then, in a sense, I would say in Congress's political scheme or political machinery and hierarchy, he would almost become unshakable and invincible as well.
Right. Aman, we can see the pictures. Ashok Gehlot is just walking towards the booth where you are. And while we wait for him to arrive and speak to the media, share with us your understanding. He's called Jadugar. तो क्या जादूगर का जादू चला है राजस्थान में या हाथ की सफाई है? Like BJP would want us to believe.
Well, I think all I know of Ashok Gehlot after interviewing him multiple times, Arunima, that you can never rule out Ashok Gehlot in Rajasthan. I remember in the 2018 election, he said that one line that मैं ताहो से दूर नहीं. So, that line in Rajasthani means that I can never be kept away from Rajasthan. That was his line which he used when Sachin Pilot was, camp was saying that Sachin Pilot will become the chief minister. That one line used by Ashok Gehlot in the campaign made it clear that he was in no mood to leave Rajasthan. He might have been in a top position in the AICC at that point of time in charge of organization, but he was back in Rajasthan when Congress won the state. This time also, I think Ashok Gehlot is very clear that, he's an experienced campaigner. He's been the 3-time chief minister. He knows how to run the state. And he thinks that he always maintained that Sachin Pilot has his time. He's still young. He can become the chief minister later. And this spirited campaign that I think Mr. Ashok Gehlot also he proved to the High Command leadership that, in Madhya Pradesh, the BJP could bring down the Congress government. But in Rajasthan, they could not do so because of Ashok Gehlot's organization and Ashok Gehlot's strategizing. He saved his government in Rajasthan despite this so-called rebellion by Sachin Pilot in 2020. And that I think he also said in my interview yesterday when I spoke to him that 2020 में बीजेपी मेरी सरकार नहीं गिरा पाई, इस बात की उनको टीस है और तब नहीं गिरा पाए तो अब गिराना चाह रहे हैं. So he said people in the Rajasthan will actually take revenge from the BJP for trying to bring down my democratically elected government by horse trading. So I think Ashok Gehlot has pitched his case very strongly, and as Pallavi was saying, if Ashok Gehlot manages to win Rajasthan again, despite all the odds, despite beating this anti-incumbency or despite beating this 30-year-old long tradition in Rajasthan of voting out the incumbent, Ashok Gehlot's position in the party will become very, very strong. And a change also from last year, when in fact he had invited the wrath of Sonia Gandhi